we'll start. So, my name's Christine Seeman, and this is a talk that I came up with this morning, and it's called Show Me Your Dev Environment. So, there's so many times where I'm working with all my different coworkers. I do a lot of group programming. I'm going to talk a little bit about ensemble programming here later today. But one thing that I've learned is I learned so much from my other coworkers when I get to see how they work. As like engineers, we have so much craftsmanship that goes into what we actually do and how we do it. And so you kind of get to learn about a person by how they actually do their coding. And everybody has kind of a bespoke environment going on there on little things they can learn from other coworkers. And so I want to learn from all of you about how you work. I'm going to kind of go first. A little bit about myself. I'm a full stack programmer. My main stack is Ruby. I do some Rails. I used to do Java in the past. I'm recovering from that. I also nowadays am doing some more Go, a lot more Bash than I thought I would be doing. But you'd be surprised at the different infrastructure that you run into nowadays. And so a lot of my main things that I do is using a full-blown IDE. So let's see how this works. So I have a programmer who I've worked with for a couple of years. His name is Adam Lasek. Maybe he might be around here later. And he taught me the beauty of doing a lot of stuff in the CLI. Coming from Java, I always was in the full-blown, what was it? I always had these huge IDEs, and I barely did anything actually in the command line. It was actually when I switched over to Ruby that I started figuring out how it was fun and if you're customizing your shell, customizing your editor, and doing all that stuff was, and how really kind of important it is to know the guts of everything going on there and your dependency management. So this is, I like to use Alacrity. I think that's the terminal or editor. I can kind of get those confused sometimes. I like to do a bash shell, even though Mac keeps on wanting me to do the Z shell. I ignore that. And I love to do this has a little starship for your shell to make it look pretty. I love adding little emojis and stuff on my shell. It helps me know where I'm at. And then for this, I use team-ups for my terminal multiplier, which team-ups is so cool, and I didn't understand it at all for quite a few years. But it's just at its heart of it is just to allow you to get more thinking, you get more shells in the same window. And so, doing those, you learning how you have more the commands takes a while. Hey, what's up, Sarah?
How do you spell TMUX?
TMUX. So terminal multiplier. So that's the thing that just allows you to go, hey, I need another window thing.
Nice.
Okay. And that's what you do. And so you can customize your what commands you do to actually open that. That took me forever to figure out how the hell to actually do that. So mine is Control T or TMUX. The default is Control B. That makes no sense whatsoever. But Adam. So this is Adam Lasek, and he's actually the one who taught me about TMUX and how to do all these terminals. And I try. I actually tried to do full Vim last year. My productivity went to shit. Adam had to suffer through many of the sessions with me attempting to do that. But when I do my more Go programming, I do try to whip out the Vim, which I do Neo Vim. It's very nice going on there. But I can't. The problem is I still, after trying to work with Vim, there's only so much I can do with it, and sometimes you need to reach for your full-blown IDE. And so when I need my full-blown IDE, I do RubyMine for JetBrains, just because it is for shit with the indexing. It just takes forever for it to load up some stuff, especially when you've got your big old monolith going on there. It likes to reindex all of those files way too often, and you just want to start working and open up shit. And it's just kind of spinning along trying to index things. But the thing that it does really well is you can search files for what is going on and looking through a giant code base, sometimes you just need to search easily to try to find your stuff. You can't remember the name of everything, but you do remember the first letter of usually the file that you want to open. And so that's the one thing that RubyMine does really well is you can open up files and search, and it has its folder structure really good. And so I'll give that to Jeff Rains. Like, I hate how much memory it takes, but I do love how easy it is to peruse around in RubyMine. Hey, Nick, do you have a dev environment you would like to show off?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll tell you that you can have the best of both worlds. You don't need to waste all that.
Oh, okay. I would love to hear about that. Yeah. So my go-to is like if I have to do get, if I need to do anything with actually pushing up my code commits, I go in my shell and just do that get commit in the CLI, which is the best way to get in my opinion.
You'll see that. Yep. Okay. So I also use Vim and tmux for everything. I say Vim, but NeoVim. It's like I say Java. I'm a JavaScript developer. I'm a TypeScript developer. It's just standard.
That's kind of
yeah. But I don't use Alacrity. I use again, all opinions. There's no wrong opinion here. But in my opinion, I like WesTerm better.
What is that one?
WesTerm.
WesTerm?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
WEZ. The guy's name is Wes Furlong, and he made a terminal called WesTerm. And it's fantastic for two reasons. One, I can have fancy animations like this.
Oh, that is a pretty.
This is just an animated GIF that I have slowed down and then running very enlarged, and it's really cool and I have like a lot of opacity. Go to his website and look at it. You can build as many backgrounds as you want. He has it so that when you're scrolling up and down, it actually has a video game parallax effect.
Yeah.
So it'll go up and down like in a dungeon level or something like that. You can do a ton of
that's good.
But number two is the configuration for this is a fantastic language called Lua, which if you're a NeoVim user, Lua is a fantastic language for that. So yeah, it's fantastic all around. But I started up with like
Do you
that.
customize your little
This is blown up. It's normally it fits, but I blew it up there. But I'm mostly a JavaScript developer, TypeScript, and this is my .files repo, which I've been working on since 2011, and I can do that fuzzy
Do
finding.
you have any of your original config from like 2011?
Yes,
You do?
but not for Neo, not for Vim.
Okay.
Tmux is probably almost entirely original.
Yeah.
Didn't grow much. Control A though for me.
Oh,
is the
it's your what's that key binding called?
It's the prefix.
It's the prefix. Yeah, I like Control T because Tmux.
Yeah.
But Control what?
Control A, and that's because I remap caps lock to control, so it's just right next to each other. Boom.
Okay, yeah, Adam's a big fan of the letters close by each other too.
Only two keys. Yeah, I use tilde. It's only one key then. Yeah, I use back.
Well, what if you want to say control?
Yeah, exactly. The one thing control really messes with is the incrementing numbers.
I just do Control A.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, it's like
For sure.
one.
But you can do the fuzzy finding. This is something called Telescope that lets me search for anything, so I can find my WesTerm config real quick. I have it set to relative numbering, but when I go into editing, it switches to regular numbering.
Do you have a GitHub for this?
Yeah, it's all nicknc/.files.
Okay, so nicknisi.files. I'll try to get all these together.
You can also go to .files.dad and
Oh, there's the WesTerm. WEZ term for terminal.
Yep. And so it's really configurable with everything. And you can do things like, I'm looking up there. Like I have the background. I wrote a bunch of.
Oh, you got Capuchin. I haven't seen those. So
Yeah.
it's a cool. So Capuchin is it makes it look pretty, and it has cat in the name. So I really liked it.
Yeah, this is. I can make this like fully opaque, and it automatically updates.
Oh, there you
I
go.
can make it 0.1. That's where the background is coming in. So it's all entirely configurable, and it just like figures it out based on what or it automatically updates every time.
We got a question.
We got questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I've never seen the relative numbering. Can someone tell me why
Yeah.
that's the benefit?
It's because when I'm moving up and down, I use HJKL. and I'm extremely lazy. That's why I'm a Vim user. And so like I'm on line 60 right now, and I want to go up to here. Well, I'm 9 keys away, so I could hit K 9 times, or I could just hit 9K, and I'd go there. So it's to help me quickly now.
Yeah. And I hate relatives because it breaks my brain every time it changes. So I like it to be stable.
Same.
Yeah.
So it's a thing you have to run math. It's a thing.
I just do it because Adam and I also does.
Jen, you don't have to do math. You can say 1, 2, 2,
G.
capital G.
Yeah.
And it'll go like,
Or you can do colon 1, colon.
I went 90, like 90, and every time I started.
It is. See, I'm on 51, and then I'm just 1 away from 50, and 1 away
But then 50 stops at 50. Oh,
I really like.
Okay, well, for the terminals, how many different, I just use iTerm too, because it's the one I've heard of.
Come on.
But is there any advantages?
Yes.
What do other people use?
I use Kitty.
Kitty's a great one too. Kitty, the developer of Kitty doesn't have too much stuff, so they.
I still use.
But he's really nice. I like it.
The main
most fancy. So it's mostly just added features you can get already in parts. So I don't want to see about the one. But I switched to Alacrity only because then it's too slow to go.
And I switched to Alacrity to Adam switched to Alacrity.
I will say the only reason I'm not on iTerm 2 is because 2 reasons. iTerm 2, I want to show an example of this. I'm in a different project now. Texture file, you're like, this is where it gets controversial. If I do this, sorry, wait, what number? That's it. So I like ligatures.
Oh, yeah.
That's controversial. Ligatures are awesome. If you turn on, this used to be the case. They probably fixed it, but in iTerm 2, when I was using iTerm 2, if you turned on ligatures, it dropped out of GPU rendering mode. So for somebody who spends all of their time in the terminal, I could see that, and it hurt a lot. So I switched to a GPU intensive fast renderer. I think it was Kitty first. I tried Alacrity. Alacrity didn't support ligatures in the way that I wanted to support ligatures. So I dipped on that pretty quick. And then I found WesTerm, and I could make these cool animations. And I love it. And when I navigate, don't have that window focus, it just pauses the animation, so it's not just a distraction all the time. But I like the breathing. And I've been up here for too long, so I love it.
Oh, Carl's got a cool setup. Okay, everybody welcome Carl up and thank you. Okay.
We were looking at Facebook code.
What is this little gloriousness going on here?
So this is a tiny but very powerful little thing.
It's not cute.
It's also a kind of a game machine, but it just got a relatively powerful AMD in it. Let me get this.
Who makes that?
This is the GPD WinMax 2, so maybe a GPD.
It really is the cutest thing I've ever seen. It is like Game Boy on steroids.
See a lot of video stuff. I've seen it a lot.
Is this the background video or is this like?
No, it's me. I'm trying to get it to do.
What? Okay, we got keep change this and reverse that.
I'm trying to get the mirror instead of.
Yeah, it looks like it should start again.
All right.
Oh, so hold on. I can't
Run resolution. I'm gonna try.
Is this?
No, it didn't. Oh no, what's this?
All right. Good. So yeah, this is for a little bit of Linux flavor. I also use tmux. I think that the backtick is an even better prefix. So so I can split with just one. Like I can do it just with one key instead of two. Also, if we look at the tmux conf, this is a really important one. Starting your index with 1 instead of 0, so that you're switching to the first tab is right next to the prefix key. So that's nice and handy. Also, so all of these, before I get any further, are all here in this Dropbox repo. But some interesting aspects of it. There's some very useful tools in here, but also some great dot files. And it allows you, if you wanted to use this Dropbox setup, it allows you to overlay your own private files on top of it with very little effort. But the Get config has a lot of great aliases in here. I'm sure Adam's familiar with. Most of these are from when we worked together in 2011. So one great tool is so I have tmux to keep maintaining windows within a project. But for separate projects, I use tabs, and I have a little helper called tproject, which is in that Dropbox repo, and you can easily set up a project so it will automatically pre-populate all my tabs with the different commands I need to run. I can even have them start it, and so I can quickly pull up my private dot files. These are because I have a split in the public and private ones, and so. That works really well. Trying to think what else. I use Pulsar, so that's really acronymistic. I'm not going to share any editor details because no one else uses that.
So you like fish for your shell?
Yes, fish. And then this little prompt thing is powered by something called Starship, which is really useful.
Which is fun though, because I had Starship on mine, and it looks completely different because, of course, once again, we're programmers, so you can customize the hell out of what it actually shows.
Yeah.
And then on actually you're looking at here. So my Go, I like the little hamster on there, of all the to show me my Go version too.
So yeah, we can look at I have in that repo there's a Starship config.
So of course there's
I went a little overboard with that.
Oh, you did go.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yours is super customized. I don't customize shit because there's only so much I would care about, and defaults are okay. Can we repeat this as a default? And don't have to customize everything.
But if you want, there's also some great examples for customizing fish, and in here, and yeah, I guess that's really about it.
How do you feel about it?
I am not there yet.
You're not. Are you an Emacs guy? Do you have an Emacs person? Should we show Emacs? Do you have your?
I don't have my environment here.
Okay.
I used to use Emacs, and then eventually I got into Flutter development, and Flutter's autocomplete or Dart's autocomplete bogged down Emacs performance.
Oh.
So I switched to VS Code with the most popular Emacs plugin, which really works well on memory.
Yeah, I had to switch over to VS Code for my Go programming just because that was the one that the other Go programmers I worked with were using the VS Code, and it was just so much quicker. Because we're behind indexing, which I really should get rid of I just like how it searches, and I can search and work as quickly.
Telescope.
So one last thing that I can share. If anyone is Linux curious, NixOS is an amazing type of Linux. It makes dependency management really good. You can have multiple versions of things installed simultaneously because everything's isolated in the Nix store, and then just kind of simulate into the system. One of the most powerful things is all of the configuration resolves down to it's all done in one file. You have your configuration.nix. Now I've chosen to split mine out. My configuration.nix is a base configuration shared by all my machines. I got a few of them, and then on each machine I will add some other things. This is a dev machine, so it has my dev config. It's also a gaming machine, so it has my gaming config. And this one's running GNOME. I have another one for KDE. And so it has the everything. You don't have to go to ncfstab to set up your mouse. That's all in this file. All of your packages are in this file. All of your Docker config and all that stuff. Anything that you have to config at the system level is all in these files. All my GNOME stuff. Even the file associations and stuff are all kind of mess with it here. And so, yeah, if anyone has any questions about Nix but I definitely highly recommend it. It's really kind of changed how I view system configurations, and it makes it so much easier. Like just one file I can move to another machine, and it's exactly the same setup as the other machine. So.
We probably have time for one more dev environment. Anybody want to go?
I didn't bring my laptop, but I'd love to share with what
Yeah,
I
sure, yeah, go.
You want me to just sit here?
We can all sit here. We can all see you.
I could want to stand up.
Okay.
So I didn't bring my
Thanks for
laptop.
sharing, Carl.
I didn't bring my laptop, but seeing Nick's NeoVim configuration was awesome. I'm also a NeoVim user. I use Arch Linux, by the way. And I don't know if anyone uses Tiling Window Manager, but I use Awesome Window Manager. So that is basically my way of I keep my hands on the keyboard at all times, basically. So has anyone used a Tiling Window Manager ever before? Yeah. Or even if you're on Windows, you can use what do they have, the virtual workspaces or whatnot. It's basically like that. So I can have, my browser's always on 1, my, terminal's always on 2, and Slack's always on 8 or whatnot. And so I can just instantly go there. And yeah, no, this was the top for me. I love, you can say defaults are fine, and they are. But gosh, I spent a lot of time in my configuration files.
But
that's a lot.
how much of the time have you been debugging your configuration because you changed it and you didn't know what the hell you did, but it broke something else?
Yeah.
Okay, I would just like to know it takes a lot of freaking time sometimes.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot from it, and you adapt so you can see kind of change over time. So I mean, I actually wrote a NeoVim plugin. And so I learned a lot. I learned a lot about Lua, and Lua is basically all tables. Everything's a table, and so you learn a lot just configuring your own development workspace, and you can directly to me, one of the biggest thing is productivity, I guess. So if I can, I don't know, anyone heard of the Primogen?
Yes.
Yes. So he created Tmux Sessionizer. It's a little bash script or ZSH script that will fuzzy find. He uses FCF to fuzzy find over certain directories that you put in there, and so then it instantly creates a Tmux session in that directory, and it's amazing because you can just jump between projects. I personally like to, I'll do Control AS to go to see my different Tmux sessions, so I don't use tabs, and I don't know, it's. Dev environments is very personal to each person, so it's a lot of fun. So I'm happy I was really excited to hear everyone's, and I got to share mine. I wish I had brought my laptop, but
Yeah, we'll have to pull some links together. We'll do, see if we can't do some sort of repo, so we can do it a shared amount of links, so that if you didn't bring your dev environment, let's do something that you can share it with people later and people beside it. I know Nick's good at I'm awful at public repos or keep my stuff online. I have it all on my over the laptop, and God help me if I actually lose my laptop. I'll have to figure it out all again. But that's one that I've always wanted to do, is to be able to save my doc files. What's the best way to do that? Saving your doc files.
Well, yeah, that.
What's the easiest way? Because that's the problem. I see a whole bunch of different ways. But I don't want him to put in a ton of work.
I don't use this because I wrote my own a long time ago.
Yeah.
But something called GNU Stow is really nice for that. You can just create the directory structure that you want. You run a stow command and automatically symlink those into your home directory.
Okay.
And then you can have everything in an encapsulated .files repo. You can roll that on your machine and go. I basically wrote a bash script that does that. And I will say it's really nice because I've lost my laptops before, and 20 minutes and I'm back. But
Okay.
I don't ever bring a backup. I just start from scratch.
Yeah.
20 minutes I'm developed.
Yeah, because that would be nice. Because sometimes we put so much time into finessing and getting our dev environments perfect. We should definitely back those shit up, because if we lose it, think about where in productivity goes. And everybody wants to be more productive with less work. That's definitely like a core tenet of being an engineer, I think. Is like you just want to do it better, easier. And so yes, I should definitely look into that for the backup.
One other,
Oh, sorry.
one other, because I also wrote tools to do my own dot files ages ago, so I'm stuck with that for a little while. But if you do want to try Nix, Nix has its own home directory manager, Nix Home Manager, that handles all your dot files and stuff. Really cool stuff. I just haven't, not ready to do it yet.
Henry?
I was gonna say, I have the most boring setup ever. I use VS Code. It's no dump files, no fancy customization, but every project runs in a Docker container in like GitHub Workspaces for that reason.